I am Ferdinand Marcos, and I am the President of the Republic of the Philippines. I stand today on behalf of 110 million Filipinos.
Hi everyone! Hello Universe, it's me again. Shoutout sa inyo mga Beshwa. Ito guys, may nag-request kasi na sinasabi i-upload ko din daw yung hearing nung Masasapano, no? Yung sa 44, the time. So, ito lang po ang nakita ko. So, maganda ito. Kasi makikita nyo dito kung paano magaling magtanong ang mga senador that time, kasama na si Pangulong Marcos Jr., talaga namang di kalidad ang pagtatanong, no? Bihasang-bihasa, lalo na ito si dating Senadora Santiago, na talagang ginisa. Ito si Purisma, mga kababayan. Sabi niya nga, suspendido na nga siya, bakit nakikialam? Kung hindi siya nakikialam, di buhay pa ang sa 44. Totoo yun, mga besa. Ang problema kasi dito, no, base doon sa napanood ko, napakabagal yung reinforcement that time nung panahon na yun. Mabagal, huli na dumating. Kung agad-agad sana, baka buhay pa yung 44 na yun. Biro mo nyo guys, no, imagine nyo nung panahon na yun, kawawa sila, na-trap talaga sila, pero ito ang masaklap at nakakalungkot, mga kababayan. Bakit kanyo? Biro nyo, kapwa Pilipino, nagpapatayan. Nakakalungkot po yun, sa totoo lang. So dahil dito mga best, para kumpleto detalyado, panoorin nyo po ito, kung gaano sila kagaling magtanong. Yan ang mga senador na dapat ihalal. Lalo na po si Pangulong Marcos Jr. Panoorin nyo po, mga kababayan. At doon sa nag-request, ito na po yun. Thank you for watching guys, Follow me and like. So, para lagi kayo update sa aking mga upload videos. Ito na.
PNP interim report that was given us by Director Magalong yesterday. There are enumerated 10 different operations, PNP operations against Marwan. And from your testimony yesterday, you, in some way or another, you were involved in all of these operations in different positions in the hierarchy of the PNP. Am I correct, Mr. General?
Yes, Your Honor.
In those operations, were there coordinations with the MILF? Was there information sent to the MILF that you, the PNP SAF, were going to conduct these operations against Marwan?
The coordination with the MILF was done time on target, as just like what we did with the AJAG, through the AJAG, of course, Your Honor. Because of the provision of the joint communique signed by the MILF and the GPH in Kuala Lumpur in 2002, stating therein that except for operations against high priority targets, a list of which shall be provided by the GPH panel to the MILF panel, the AJAG shall inform the GPH and the MILF CCH at least 24 hours for the conduct of AP-PNP operations in order to allow sufficient time for the evacuation of civilians and to avoid armed confrontation between the GPH and the MILF. There is an exception in this part, Your Honor, that this is a high-value targets being pursued by the Special Action Force at this time.
So this was the interpretation that you applied as well in the latest Oplan Exodus of January 2015.
Yes, Your Honor.
So there has never been a problem because meron dito sa listahan ng operation, meron naman yung Operation Pitas, yung Operation Smart Bomb, yung Operation Oplan Cyclops, lahat ito ay na-execute. So hindi naman nagka-problema kagaya ng nangyari sa Masasapano.
There was no problem.
Last January.
Yes, Your Honor.
There was no problem then.
There was no problem during those
So it was your understanding that the MILF was cognizant of this exemption that is laid out in Section 6 of the Joint Communique, implementing guidelines of the Joint Communique of 6 May 2002. So
Yes.
this is what you were invoking.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so in the view of the PNP SAF, there was no need to make that coordination. Not even before, kahit na time on target,
in the operation plan that we did for the Oplan Exodus in Masasapano, it's time on target to inform the AFP AJAG for that matter, Your Honor.
Oh, sige. Again, from the testimony that you gave yesterday, you said that the go ahead for Oplan Exodus of January, you took on your own initiative. I'm trying to. Is it within your command, within your powers as the director of SAF to go or green light a mission, or do you have to get clearance from higher ups, from the chief PNP, for example, or even higher?
Your Honor, I'd like to cite the situation that the two occasions that I joined Police Director General Purisma for the mission update with the President. During those two occasions, I was never given any guidance that the mission is a no-go. In the same manner that maybe there are some people who would like to hear if there was really a direct order or a direct approval of the President for the mission to go. But there was none. That was really the truth. But then, yung pong dalawang okasyon na nagpunta ako doon, it could be interpreted on my part that there was an implied or a tacit approval for the mission is a go, for the operation is a go. Considering na wala pong sinabi sa akin, yung una, yung pangalawa, walang nakarating sa akin na guidance or anuman na order na hindi na ituloy yung operation, Your Honor.
Ang tinutukoy mo, General Napeñas, yung dalawang pagkakataon na binigyan mo ng briefing si Pangulong Aquino at saka si General Purisma, both of which occurred, I think, on Palace grounds, on the Palace grounds.
Yun po ang aking tinutukoy, Your Honor.
So you are saying that at no point during those meetings were you told, General, medyo ipaubaya muna natin yan. Let us plan better, or hindi maganda yung plano ninyo, or anything like that. Let us stop planning, or let us defer this operation. Walang ganong sinabi.
Wala po, Your Honor.
So you interpreted the silence on the matter as consent on the part of your commanders.
Yun po, Your Honor. Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
let us get back now to the role that was played by General Purisma in this.
Can I just have one question
Yes,
on
yes,
that?
of course. I yield the floor to the Senator.
In other words, General Napeñas, at no point did the President tell you to proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. There was no direct order from the President telling me to proceed or directly telling me that the mission is approved on that matter.
Thank you very much.
So, just to again further clarify that, so how long is the briefing? Gaano katagal? How detailed was the briefing that you gave?
The mission update at the firing range took only a few minutes, Your Honor. However, at the Bahay Pangarap, it took more or less 15 to 20 minutes. Your Honor, if I may add, if there was a direct order from the President that the mission is a go, that would have been a very good opportunity for me and a situation where I could break the chain of command, considering that the order would have come from the President, Your Honor.
So essentially, there was no guidance one way or the other from either General Purisma or the President to defer, to delay, or to continue and to implement the O-Plan.
There was none on that issue.
There was no
Your Honor.
guidance one way or the other. Thank you. Napag-usapan na rin yung breaking of the chain of command. Nung sinabi sa'yo ni General Purisma, ako na ang bahala sa dalawa. Wag mo munang sabihin sa dalawa, ako na ang bahala kay General Katapang. Is that correct? That was what he told you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Kung alam mo na suspendido si General Purisma, ba't mo sinundan yung kanyang ang payo, kaya sinasabi niya ngayon payo, but you obeyed it as if it was an order. Why did you do that?
Your Honor, hindi ko po sinunod yung order ni General Purisma or yung advice niya. However, I go back yung sa sinabi ko kanina, Your Honor, that with the two occasions na nagre-render ako ng mission update, I took that one as there was an implied or tacit approval that the mission is a go. And in those two occasions, wala pong sinabi sa akin na hold, i-defer, or anuman na pagpigil na maituloy yung mission, Your Honor.
Okay, let me now direct some questions to General Purisma. General Purisma, why did you say this? Why did you give this advice, as you like to characterize it, to General Napeñas na wag mo munang sabihin sa dalawa, ako nang bahala kay General Katapang?
Yes, Your Honor. The reason why I have said that is stated already yesterday, that it is in the design of their plan to inform everybody time on target, Your Honor.
Pero yung plano galing sa kanya, bakit kailangan mo ipaalala sa kanya yung sinabi niyang sa iyo na parte ng plano?
Yes, Your Honor, because
O ganito na lang, this came, you told him this after you met privately with the President. Ito bang pinag-usapan ninyo?
No, Your Honor.
Anong pinag-usasan ninyo?
It's something personal, Your Honor.
Okay, so this was not the subject of the discussion. This was not cleared with the President.
No, Your Honor.
This advice was not cleared with the President.
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Okay, and
Senator Marcos, really quickly, you still have your question time left. But in relation to this, sabi mo, ikaw nang bahala kay General Katapang. Ano pong sinabi ninyo kay General Katapang? Anong ginawa niyong bahala na? Pwede, nandito naman siya, pwedeng matanong si General Katapang. Nag-usap na ba kayo?
Your Honor, ang sabi ko nung ako nang bahala kay General Katapang is the information to General Katapang, which I did on January 25 at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. I texted General Katapang and I tried to call him that the operations was ongoing already in Masasapano.
General Purisma, so yung coordination, bali yung sinabi mo, akong bahala kay General Katapang, parang sinabi mo sa SAF Commander na ako na ang makikipag-usap at i-informahan ko ang AFP dahil akong magsasabi kay General Katapang.
That is for as far as General Katapang is concerned.
Pero hindi mo sinabi kay General Katapang na may Operation Exodus hanggat time on target na, hanggat nagputo ka na, lasing ko, nagpuputo ka na eh.
No, Your Honor, I did not say to General Katapang that the Exodus
When did you tell
operation,
General Katapang that there was such an operation?
January 25, Your Honor.
January 25 was when they jumped off.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you told time on target din ang si General Katapang.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the coordination with the AFP was supposed to have been done by you, and you only did it when the staff members were already under fire. Am I correct?
Your Honor, prior to that meeting, there was I facilitated also a meeting with the AFP officials in December 19, Your Honor, and they were introduced to each other, and they were the ones coordinating to each other on what they will do. I did not participate on their coordination already, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. But okay, now I would like to know the reason behind being told that I am to rush. I would like to know the reason why did you feel there was a need to cut out General Espina from the chain of command?
Your Honor, the operation said that it should be time on target for everybody, so I just followed the principle of the time on target.
But this is the commander. This is the acting chief of PNP. This is not only a usurpation of authority. This is also breaking the chain of command, because they're very clear. The chain of command is here, and you, as a suspended member of as chief PNP, were issuing orders to keep the acting chief PNP in the dark on a very critical mission. Why did you feel that that was necessary?
Your Honor, I did not give any orders. I gave advice to police.
Nevertheless, that advice, which we will use for the sake of consistency, that advice was nevertheless followed as an order, because the fact of the matter is General Espina was kept out of the loop. Also, the Secretary of the DILG was kept out of the loop. Why did you feel the need to give that advice?
For operational security purposes, Your
So you
Honor.
do not trust the Secretary of the DILG with this information? You do not trust your own second in command, the Director General Espina, the acting Chief PNP, with this information?
Hindi po ganun, Your Honor. Ang nakalasad po sa plano ng PNP staff ay time on target.
Okay, marami kang pinag-usapan na you were involved in certain you were in a party to the briefing that was conducted on January 19. January 19, your suspension was December 4. Am I correct, General Purisma?
That was December 19, Your Honor.
I beg your pardon, December 19. But you were part of the meeting or the briefing that General Napeñas gave in the palace January 9.
Yes, Your Honor.
How did you know of this meeting?
The Director of Special Action Force, Your Honor, would like to place a mission update on the President regarding the operation, Your Honor.
So the General Napeñas informed you that he was going to the palace to give a mission briefing.
Yes, Your Honor.
And who told you to attend?
I was guiding them, Your Honor, to enter the
So you
palace.
attended of your own initiative, basta't sumipot ka na lang. Nalaman mo na magkakaroon ng mission briefing at sumipot ka dahil ka sa palagay mo kailangan kang nandun ka.
No, Your Honor, I accompanied them to the palace.
Okay. When I haven't gotten to the MILF yet, I would just want to ask the MILF some of the sequence of events very quickly, Madam Chairman. I understand. I realize that I may have, but there
So we
has
can
been
have you
a
the
very
next
large time lag. Maybe I could direct this question to Mr. Ladyasan, who is the chair of ADJAG. And when was the first communication? I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, in fairness to our other colleagues, may we request Senator Marcos to reserve the next round or his next questions on the next round,
Well,
because the others are also...
I feel it is unfair at this point because I've only discussed the chain of command and the PNP and the AFP. The MILF.
Senator Marcos, I can understand that you're
Yeah.
very passionate about it. So are most of us. And I know that we have to get. I wish that we had unlimited time, but also with due respect for
Madam
other
Chair,
senators. Sir.
I am trying to write a version of the BBL that will work so that this kind of occurrence does not happen again.
And also we are
And
trying
that
to
is-
make them follow the
Very well.
rules, so we should
Well,
set an example also.
May I then, in that case, in deference to our schedule, may I then make the list of questions, give it to the chair, and hope for a written answer from our partners in peace, the MILF and the ADJAG of the MILF. So, would that be acceptable,
Of
Madam
course,
Chair?
that will be most acceptable and appreciated.
That there should be a coup d'etat. It is in effect an attack against President Aquino. But I have intelligence as of yesterday that leaders of certain alphabet soup acronyms who are familiar with the public had a recent meeting because they wanted to discuss how to stage a coup d'etat, who should be installed as president, and even their contributors were there. I am sure that the NDR is aware of this development. What steps are DND taking to avoid a coup d'etat? Because no matter how bitterly I criticize President Aquino, I am a lawyer and I still remain standing behind the rule of law. If he should leave his office, let him leave it at the proper time, but not by extra legal means, such as a coup d'etat, which is a crime under the penal code. All of those planners can be arrested immediately because, like any other crime under the penal code, the crime of coup d'etat has 3 stages. Number 1, attempted. 2, frustrated. 3, consummated. So, arestuhin na sila dapat. And they're being financed by a man who the public already knows, who is a very rich man. So what is the DND doing?
Your Honor, we indeed received those reports, and we are still in the process of verifying and confirming all these reports. As far as coup d'etat is concerned, it will entail the support of the military, and we are very confident that the military will not be involved in this coup d'etat, Your Honor.
You and I know who these people are. They've been engaging in this cottage industry for many years in our country. It's time they were put to stop and they learned their lesson. I will now go to another subject matter, Mr. Secretary. The Department of National Defense includes the Anti-Terrorism Council created under the Human Security Act of 2007. It is headed by the Executive Secretary as chair, the Secretary of Justice as the vice chair, and includes the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, the Secretary of National Defense, the Secretary of the Interior and Local Government, the Secretary of Finance, and the National Security Advisor. The law specifically states that, quote, the Anti-Terrorism Council shall implement this act and assume the responsibility for the proper and effective implementation of the anti-terrorism policy of the country. And there are many other provisions on the same tenor. My question is very simple. In all the reports that we hear, both here in the Senate hearing and from the media and around us, there's never any mention of the Anti-Terrorism Council. Did it play any part at all in this operation we're talking about? And if not, why not? Sabi ng batas, yan ang trabaho eh. Basta may anti-terrorism movement, dapat yan under the control and supervision immediately ng Anti-Terrorism Council. It's headed by the Executive Secretary and it is composed of various cabinet members. Eh bakit wala tayong naririnig tungkol sa Anti-Terrorism Council? Bakit ito lang si General Peñas ang naririnig natin?
Your Honor, can I refer the question to Undersecretary Ikarma?
Undersecretary Ikarma nung sagot mo. Although I know that Anti-Terrorism Council is under the Department of National Defense. Ba't wala kayong kakibo-kibo?
With all due respect to Your Honor, I was about to answer, but the Anti-Terrorism Council is in charge of formulating...
I already explained why. Just answer me. Answer the question because I only have 5 minutes. I'm already gasping for breath.
If you will allow me, ma'am, please. Okay. The Anti-Terrorism Council does not involve itself in the operational aspect of anti-terrorism.
Ganon. Di po lang kayo
no, ma'am.
Salita lang kayo, papel lang kayo.
No, ma'am. We give the guidelines on how our forces will counter terror, ma'am. But we do not involve ourselves in the day-to-day tactical or operational details.
Well, not day-to-day, but still you must have had some participation because the law, for your information, says that the functions of the council are and I selectively enumerate, formulate and adapt plans, programs, and countermeasures, etc. Coordinate all national efforts. Number 4, establish and maintain comprehensive database information. Bakit walang ka-support sila General Peñas? Number 6, even grant monetary rewards. So we can fiddle about what these words mean, but the thing is that the Anti-Terrorism Council participation is nil. NO0, zip. In our investigation.
So,
I'm done with you. General Alan Purisma.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're placed on preventive suspension on December 19, 2014. Suspension is defined by the Law Dictionary as, quote, the temporary deprivation of a person's powers or privileges, especially public officers. Hindi lang powers ang na-cut off or ang functions, pati pang privileges. Kaya kung tuusin, nung period of preventive suspension, you should not even have been allowed to live in the White House. And yet you continue to participate in preparation for a law enforcement activity. Therefore, sir, I humbly call to your attention. In jurisprudence, you overstepped your limits. You are on preventive suspension. For example, in the 2009 case of Aldovino versus Comelec, the Supreme Court held, and I quote, in all cases of preventive suspension, the suspended official is barred from performing the functions of his office. You perform the functions of your office, albeit in a surreptitious manner, and then you say that you were not violating your the terms of your preventive suspension. That is amphiboly. You're using words to confuse the person listening to you. Nakialam ka eh. I also add that you were placed in preventive suspension by the Ombudsman under the Ombudsman Act, which provides that the Ombudsman may preventively suspend any officer if in the Ombudsman's judgment the evidence of guilt is strong. In sum, it appears that you have gone against the ruling of the Supreme Court and that the Ombudsman considers the evidence of guilt is strong in the plunder case filed against you. But I insist on the more important question, what made you violate the terms of your preventive suspension? Normally, kung preventive suspension ka, hindi ka pupunta sa office mo. You don't even call your colleagues. You just sit there quietly. And then when it's time for you to report back to office, then you go as commanded. Pero ikaw, masyado kang busy eh. Preventively suspended ka, masyado kang maraming kinakausap. At tungkol pa naman sa official and military operation. So what made you do that when you were under preventive suspension? And don't play words with me. Words are my livelihood.
Your Honor, when the law enforcement operation of PSAP was approved by me prior to my suspension, I have already delegated the command and control
We
and
know
supervision.
that. Answer the question. You're under preventive suspension and yet you are still dipping your finger in the pie. You were participating in none of your business at that time. You were preventively suspended, remember?
Your Honor, when I made remarks regarding what was been taken by Police Director Napeñas, it was mere an advice, Your Honor.
So don't quibble with me. I told you I've memorized Black's Law Dictionary. I only advised. I did not order. Really? Buti sana kung wala akong doctorate o hindi ako nag-graduate sa UP. Mas malas natin, I did both.
Your Honor, my intention was
Bakit ka salita ng salita? Ba't hindi ka na nahimik sa estate mo sa Nueva Ecija? Under preventive suspension kayo, nakikialam ka sa biro mo. 40 tao ang namatay. At kasali ka doon. Kung hindi ka siguro nakisali doon, baka buhay pa sila.
Your Honor, when I delegated the responsibility, I did not delegate the accountability.
So, aren't you ashamed of yourself? Saying I delegated the responsibility but did not delegate. I delegated the authority but did not delegate the responsibility or some such words. You should hear yourself talk.
The accountability.
Hindi pwede sa akin yan. I was an RTC judge, just to remind you.
Yes.
And I received several awards for my performance in the judiciary. So that does not play with me. It's not going to play in Peoria or in the Philippines. Ito ang tagutin mo. During the period you have been serving out your preventive suspension, how many times did you talk with President Aquino about our planned exodus? Nung panahon na preventively suspended ka, ilang beses mo nakausap si Presidente Aquino tungkol sa impending operation?
Once, Your Honor.
Once. Tama na yun sa iyo. Minsan lang, alam mo na lahat. Next question. You are privy to the preparation for a planned exodus. Therefore, you would necessarily know who was the person in charge of the operation above the level of the staff commander. Hindi man pwedeng staff commander lang ang in charge. Meron person on top of him. He is not the commander-in-chief of the Philippines under the Constitution. Merong tao siya. Meron tayong staff commander dito. Meron siyang dapat the chief of the PNP. But you were preventively suspended. And then, your substitute, who was the acting chief of the PNP, was purposely kept out of the loop of information. So he was absolutely kept out together with the Secretary of Interior and Local Government. Kaya, sino ngayon ang nagre-report? Kanino siya ngayon nag-report?
Your Honor.
Who was the person?
Your Honor.
Of the level of the staff commander? Ikaw?
No, Your Honor.
Mukhang ikaw eh.
I have already delegated, Your Honor.
Si President Aquino. Dalawa lang naman kayo eh.
No, Your Honor. I have already
sino ngayon
delegated.
who was the person who was responsible above the level of the staff commander? Sino?
Your Honor,
Dahil eliminate na lahat eh.
when the delegation of authority, Your Honor, was given, it was already the call of the SAF commander to perform the
Lahat na lang ituro nyo, SAF commander. 44 men are dead and you're all pointing fingers to the SAF commander. Common sense dictates. Sentido común na lang ho ito eh. Hindi naman siya ang pinakamataas eh. Sino mas mataas sa kanya? Ang chief ng PNP, ikaw, pero preventively suspended ka. Tapos yung kapalit mo na the acting chief, hindi ayaw ninyong sabihan. Wala siyang kaalam-alam. Kaya sino lang nakaalam? Si President Aquino at ikaw.
That is why,
Saka sina Peñas.
That is why, Your Honor, I am held accountable of the operation. That's why I resigned, Your Honor.
Ay, sus, maniwala naman ako. The President Aquino himself gave the direct order for a planned exodus to begin. And don't give me the song and dance about, matagal na kasi ito, so I did not have to order them. They just acted on their own. So, wala akong pakialam doon. Answer the question. Was it President Aquino who told you, you're preventively suspended? On your own, you meddled in something that was no longer none of your business.
No, Your Honor.
O sino how do you say in Tagalog? Sino nag-engganyo sa iyo? Makiasalam ka. Sino nag-udyok sa iyo?
It is the delegated authority, Your Honor, has
You're always
already...
returning to delegated authority. I do not accept it. Next question. In advising General Napeñas not to tell Secretary Rojas and General Espina about the start of a planned exodus, was there a problem of trust with these two officials? Wala ba kayong tiwala kay Rojas at kay Espina? Hindi kasi maintindihan eh. Ito ay PNP operation. Ang PNP under sa Secretary of Information and the Secretary of Interior and Local Government. Bakit ang pinaka-leader ninyo ayaw ninyong pagsabihan tungkol sa operation na lawfully fell under his jurisdiction? Bakit wala kayong tiwala sa kanya?
Meron po kaming tiwala, Your Honor, with the OIC of the OIC PNP and the Secretary of Interior and Local Government. However, Your Honor, in the design of the plan of PNP SAF, it stated that everybody will be informed time on target.
Ay, time on target, hindi naman sila sundalo, natatakbo sila doon. Time on target, yung ginagamit mo yan during the theater of war. When there's a war going on or a battle or some such armed clashes.
Your Honor, may I
We're
explain...
talking about civilian eh.
Your Honor, may I explain time on target is
No,
balance?
I understand what it is. Thank you.